All right, everybody. Well, um, I'm excited to get together today. I know I've been laying a little low, and not low like in a negative or a sad spot, but I've been laying a little bit low with when I haven't been pushing a bunch of content on social media for the last few days, and for me, whenever I'm stepping away from socials, it's about getting ready to amplify impact. So anyway, I wanted to get a chance to jump on today, get a little live feed going. If you don't already know, this feed right here, it's live on YouTube, on my Facebook business page, on Facebook personal page, on Twitter and Instagram. So I want to talk a little bit about, of course, the book that's coming out August 5th. It's just like, what's that, 29 days away. And so I have a few excited announcements regarding the book. So I'll start off with that today. Number one is I'm going to be releasing content from the book via my podcast. So people have been asking, hey, are you going to have the video? Are you going to have will you have the book on Audible? And the answer is yes. But before that, it's going to be released for free. So you'll get people can tune into the podcast to hear me reading my book before it's ever sold on Audible. So I'm pumped up about that, getting the content out because I am passionate about helping people in their marriages. So displaying that passion by making that available is something that's important to me. So that's something that's exciting, as well as leading up until the launch. I'm going to be having a number of giveaways. If you haven't noticed already, there's a certain number of copies. I'll show you a couple of stacks of books now. Here's a stack of books. Here's another stack. So got stacks of books that I'm giving away, and I want to explain the process that I used. Different people have different processes in releasing their book, in maybe their marketing campaign or their launch plan. And I want to share a little bit about mine. I know a number of people have expressed to me their own ambition with writing a book, which pumps me up, because it's one thing for me to write a book, and it's another thing to be part of the inspiration for other people who are writing a book. So you're going to be doing a number of giveaways. I'll be giving away some of my growth guide, which I designed to help people think through the growth process. I'll be giving away some more copies of my book. But today I want to take some time. I want to do some teaching over giving yourself a vision. And when I say giving yourself a vision, a couple of months ago in March, I believe, I printed this almost empty book out. I had 9 chapters done of this it's a 5x7 book. I paid, I think it's like $4 or something to have this book printed. And I went and I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and put international best-selling author. Now, I wasn't an international best-selling author, but I wanted to give myself the vision every time that I pulled up the book. I wanted to see that, the international best-selling author. And I also put over 1 million copies sold. Now, I did not intend for that to deceive anybody, but I wanted to give myself the vision, and I called it the Vision Edition for the reason. If you look at the definition of vision, it's this idea of seeing what's to come in the future. So they have this view of the future is one working definition of vision. So I had this out, and in fact, a couple of people have mentioned to me their ambition to become an author. And what I did to help them is I have a couple of these printed out for a few aspiring authors, and I'll go ahead and let y'all know who they are, just to give them a little bit extra motivation in case they get a chance to see this later. So I know my friend Isai, I printed him a Vision Edition book for his book. Ludi Acevedo, I printed a Vision Edition book for her. Those will be here on Friday. And again, that's just has their name, has their book concept in the front, and has a few ideas on the back as well. But what it is, it's a blank book, and all I was doing is I wanted them to catch a vision for seeing themselves as an author. So that's the first concept I want to give you tonight on this live feed, which is giving yourself a vision. And then once you've given yourself a vision, I gave myself a vision, And I took this concept of having a vision, and then you make the vision, something I put on the bottom of their books, I put make the dream a reality. So how do you take that going from a vision of being an author to the reality? And it's in different sizes, so 5x7, and you have the 5.5 and the by 8.5, I believe, is to make the dream into a reality. So I want to talk about that a little bit too, because and let me speak to the aspiring authors. I know some people, I try to make things as simple as possible. So when it comes to writing a book, let's pretend here, just for this example and this dream, and you can take this concept and apply it to your own dream in your own way. But when we're talking about writing, let's say it takes 120 hours of focus to produce a book. Now, that might sound like a lot, but if you had built the habits of writing, let's say it takes you 120 hours. So you need 120 hours of focus. So let's break that down a little bit. All right. So then if you were to have the focus of spending 30 minutes every single day on the book you want to write, or on your goal, whatever your goal is, you can break it down to manageable chunks. And if you break that down into smaller manageable chunks, so it might take you then 240 days, right? Just double that. If you were able to spend 30 minutes at a time working on your book. Or if you're only spending 15 focused minutes a day on your book, then okay, we would double that one more time. Then it would be over a year. You're at 480 days. It would take you to complete your book if you're able to spend 15 focused minutes a day on your goal, on your dream. So what I did in looking at any goal or any dream, this pivotal moment is understanding what you would be willing to sacrifice in the name of your goal and your dream. Because a goal and a dream is fine, but it's optimistic and actually naive if you think that your goal and dream will come without a cost or will come without a sacrifice. Okay, so then when you're assessing sacrifice, what does that look like? Well, here's the idea. Every goal or dream that you have will take focused time and energy. In other words, you will have to part ways from other things that you are focused on. And you have to pick what that is for you. For me, it was looking at, all right, how much time do I spend every day reading on social media, just scrolling and reading? And am I okay with this getting in the way of my dream or goal? All right, what about Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime, watching all of this? All right, how much time am I spending on streaming shows and movies? And am I okay with those activities getting in the way of me achieving my goals and my dreams? All right, well, what about video games? The video games you play on your phone, or the console systems, or the PCs, or however you game, it was back to the same concept. Am I okay with the time I spend playing video games to interrupt and disrupt me from accomplishing my goals and my dreams? So this activity, you might have things on your mind right now. You pinpoint, okay, I know what mine is. But any goal or dream you have will require a sacrifice. So if you want to go from where you're at to where you want to be, then it's going to have a corresponding sacrifice. So what's the sacrifice for you? So if you look even at my timeline of putting out content on social media, I spent the first 4 months of the year putting out a bunch of content, figuring out, playing around with TikTok and having fun on Instagram and writing some poetry, some poetic alliterations, statements, stuff like choose change, cherish change, champion change, or whatever, like creating rhythmic content to put out on socials. I spent the first 4 months just putting a bunch of content everywhere. And then I sat back at the end of April and began to ask myself, am I willing to hold off on putting out a lot of social media content in the name of the author dream? So, okay. So for me, it was, yeah, I'm willing to slash my time on Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, YouTube, pretty much watching streamed or watching videos. Then am I willing to sacrifice my time on my social media and other people's social media? And then the answer was also yes. And so for me, the cost was was crystal clear. If I would give those things up, it would be in the name of having my own book. Okay, so first concept we talked about tonight is give yourself a vision. So I got the Vision Edition, little minor book, but it had 9 chapters completed. So a lot of these pages were empty, but I began to use that as a journal every single day to get my thoughts here before I put them on the computer to get to the finished product. All right. So we talked about the vision. Then we talked about the sacrifice. And then I want to talk to you a little bit about habits. And the next concept is becoming a habit expert. That's a journey that I also wanted to get on. Is I wanted to study and examine how people build the habits they want to build, how they break the habits they want to break, and then apply that to any part of my life that I want to change, and then begin to give those principles and concepts to other people. So I became so passionate about this idea that I began some trainings. I'm launching 2 new training sessions on Saturday morning and Sunday night. If you're interested, send me a message and we could interact about the habits training. This habits training that I offer now is how the book became a reality. Without the habit training, I wouldn't have been able to build the habit of writing every single day. And here's the beauty of habit training. It's not about focus necessarily on the goal of becoming an author and writing a 180, 200 page book. The idea with habit training is that you're focused on the process and who I want to be. So I'm a writer, so I write every day. So guess what? The day I finished the book, I had already built the habit of writing every single day. So when this book finished, I started working on the next book, the ABCs of Success Coaching. So now I'm going to segue from the marriage content for this book to how to approach coaching to help other people be successful around you. So that's the power of habits. So if you showed me the quality of your habits, I would show you the quality of your life. And that works all the way around in any of the principles that I teach when it comes to financial, romantic, emotional, mental, social relationships, your health and your fitness, your spirituality, your impact on the community, your physical comforts, your relationship with your immediate and extended family, your career and your business, your recreation, your relaxation, your effectiveness, your time management, your virtues and your values. Now, so if you were to take an assessment on your habits, then it begins to communicate a story or a narrative of the quality of your life. So, all right. So I'm going to bring this in for a landing, but to give a quick little bit of a review for what I talked about today was number 1. For whatever your dream is, you may not want to be an author, and that's okay. But whatever your dream is, how can you give yourself a vision of what that looks like when it's completed? So I gave myself a vision, and then once you understand how to give yourself a vision, you begin to help other people to catch vision as well. And number 2, it's sacrifice. Any goal or any dream you have will require a corresponding sacrifice to get to where you want to be. And number 3 is, do you understand how to build the habits you want to build, how to break the habits you want to break, so that you can build the kind of life that you want to have? All right, my friends. So that was today's little lesson. If you have questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to let me know in the comments. And I'm looking forward to talking more about it. I'm going to do some more reading from the book. And of course, as I mentioned at the beginning of the live feed, that I'm also going to be releasing the audio content of my book for free over on my podcast. And I'll let you know when that happens. But thank you very much, and we'll talk soon.